All right, Tea Time Disc Golf. Steve Braud back with Andrew Fish.
Hey, everybody. Great to be here.
And we've got Sunday morning at the Blockhouse. It is going to be the dark side again.
Yeah, there's 2 courses on site, 2 full-size courses. We've played 1 round of sunny, 1 round of dark, and now we're going to play dark and sunny to finish the tournament.
Yeah, Sunday morning is always interesting in the Blockhouse. We had Tiki Madness last night, which was nuts.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to have fireworks, car alarms, and everybody just out watching Mike Trapasso's band for hours at a time.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a fun time. We've got it's a Memorial Day weekend. Everybody comes out every year, and this has been a long-standing tradition in the Spotsylvania area for disc golf. So.
For sure, they're about 20 years into this course, and as long as they keep being interested, they're going to get people coming out to play.
Yeah, they've got a great staff, and they put on a great show. So we have the same card as round 2 with one addition. We've got Mr. Steve Miller joining the card.
Yeah, we're going to add another Virginia local. Steve is a very solid player, extremely smooth and powerful.
Yeah, Steve is fantastic to watch. So this should be a lot of fun. We got Fish yourself with the lead right now, with Chris not too far on your heels here.
Yeah, and MJ and Steve are 5 back of the lead, but there's 36 holes to go. On these courses, anything can happen. It is everybody's game plus the chase card.
Yeah, so here we go on hole 1. Once again, we're gonna deal with some nice tight fairways, and if you get off them, you're gonna be in trouble. So
yeah, you got to come ready to play here.
and just buzzing your comment right up to the basket.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's the most time I'm going to take all day, and I'm glad I took it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic way to start the tournament when you know that you're just tapping in your 2. Or to start your round, not necessarily the tournament. Here's Chris taking the sneaky route.
He's going to get over to a spot where he's got to look at the basket. He's probably circle's edge. You can see on the left side of the fairway here a tree came down, and that actually opened up this backhand more than I expected it would. It's interesting how one tree can change the shape of a hole.
And MJ just plugging that right up there. That was a great shot. But no, you're right. It kind of gives you confidence on that left-hand side to keep it a little bit left and work that disc right a little bit. So I see Steve throwing something.
So he leaks left but gets a kick across the fairway.
Yeah, he was definitely trying to get that thing to stand up. He gave it a lot of hyzer out of his hand.
Yeah, I think that was a Star Mako first run.
What a great putt.
Full commitment. That's how to start the round.
Yeah, that was a fantastic way to start the round. So let's see whether or not Chris can follow suit here. He knew he missed it out of his hand there.
Yeah, by how spread out he was, I think he was probably working between or around some of those hollies.
Yeah, so Chris is going to tap in. He's going to get the only par there. The rest of you guys are going to cash in your birdies, which is nice.
Yeah, that's acceptable.
And then we move on to hole number 2. And now hole number 2 is, again, a difficult hole. You've got an uphill look at this thing, and then you just got to keep something as straight as you can keep it.
Yeah, it's a pretty vicious par 4. Most folks are going to take the left side and try to hold something straight, but it is okay to turn it over to the right. But what you cannot afford to do is get off the fairway.
Yeah, occasionally you do see somebody taking that hyzer route off the tee box on the right-hand side and just trying to keep it on the right-hand side the whole way down.
Yeah.
I think the more traditional play is just to go right up the middle with something as straight as you can.
Yeah, straight, maybe a little bit of hyzer flip out of it. I know that's what I'm going to do. So that filters a little bit left, but it's up there a ways.
Yeah, you're going to have an opportunity to get up and down for sure. And MJ taking the same up the gut approach to this thing. And he'll have a tricky look again, but he should be able to get up and down.
Yeah, he's in the fairway, which gives him some options.
Oh, man, just hug that left side just a little bit too much. And looks like we're going to see the same play out of Chris and throwing that roller.
Yeah, so he's going with a very flippy distance driver, trying to push it right of the center tree.
Yeah, boy, he was actually down there for a putt last round, so I could see why he wanted to do it again.
Definitely. This time he's in the fairway, but he's way back. He's probably close to 300, 320 from the basket.
Sure, this is not going to be an easy task to get up there and get up and down. Oh, wow. Well, you can't do it much better than that.
No, that's incredible. That's a statement save. That's Chris saying he's ready to play.
Yep. And Steve going with a traditional forehand roller. You see that a lot out here. Hit something and stop, and it does. Very good shot out of Steve.
So that's MJ's precision. He's going with a banger, just putting it close.
Yeah, he's so good at that. What a great save.
Yeah, had to fight through some hollies, and it's remarkable given where we all were that the furthest out is 22 feet.
So what an incredible star frame this would be. And yeah, Steve just cashes it in. So very good. Now, with the flick that you threw back there, it's hard to not see that you had to have had some Ultimate in your background, correct?
Yeah, I've been playing Ultimate for 10 or 12 years. I played all throughout college, and then transitioned over to disc golf when I ran out of eligibility to play in college.
Okay.
So I don't have a whole lot of power, but I've got a lot of spin, and I feel like I've got a lot of touch on my forehands.
Yeah, as we know, that disc golf has grown enormously throughout the United States and even over in Europe. But I think that Ultimate is seeing that same type of growth. It's getting huge.
It is. There's a lot of college players in Ultimate. That's where most folks pick up the game, which is different from disc golf. It kind of yields different communities, not better or worse, just different.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see other Frisbee sports doing well. So you guys, not to take away from what we just saw a star frame on one of the hardest, I think, holes, and probably easiest holes to get overstrokes on. So well done, everybody.
Yeah, that's a par 4. It's not super long, but you just want to walk away with your 3.
Yeah,
now we're going to go to this uphill hole 3, where you just want to throw it nice and straight and not try to do anything crazy with it.
Yeah, and that was a great drive. You put yourself right there. And MJ getting off the fairway here.
He didn't miss by much, but that right side, those right side trees seem to catch a lot of errant drives.
And Steve just left that right. So he's going to have a tricky putt.
Yeah, there's some opportunities over there, but the basket's on a mound. It makes everything play much longer.
Yeah, it looks like Chris is throwing that same putter. Obviously feels comfortable in his hand, but he did not get the result out of that he wanted.
Yeah, that's an unexpected miss out of Chris. He's been very solid with that PA4 from what we saw in round 2 and what everybody's seen him play like.
And MJ manufacturing a shot to get up and down, and he put himself close. Yeah, Chris has been on a hot streak, to say the least, as far as his play.
Yeah, he might be the hottest player in the Southeast. He's not on tour a whole lot, so he may not have the national recognition. But when you start your year with 10 straight wins and 15 overall by the end of May,
yeah,
you're doing something right.
2 A tiers already. He's a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. So. Just short. Yeah, Steve really was focused there. You could tell that he wanted that putt.
Yeah, so Steve has a lot of up to down action on his putts. They don't usually miss left to right. So when he's low, that's like an acceptable miss for him.
Yeah, MJ saving his par, and it looks like you're going to be tapping in for your birdie, and everybody else is getting a par, which happens a lot. This is definitely one of the more difficult par threes to get your birdie. So
they're all difficult, I promise.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and we'll move on here. We've got 341 feet, which is a difficult left-hand turn, slightly grading downhill as you get to the basket with some danger behind the basket.
Yeah, there's enough room in this fairway to flex a little bit, but you cannot really afford to go anywhere outside the fairway and expect to have a good look. If you see this caution tape behind the basket, from what I understand, there was actually a turtle laying eggs immediately before the tournament.
Yeah, there are. Yep, they were saying to please be careful not to step in that area. So, not OB or anything, just being precautious. It looks like that came out left immediately out of your hand.
Yeah, not a good shot. I really don't know what happened there.
Looks pretty good, but it still looks like it's leaking just a little bit. That just came in a little bit early, just a little bit straighter, and it would have been a fantastic shot.
Yeah, MJ did throw a comet there, though, so he's not fading. He's just kind of drifting left. He should have an opportunity there.
Steve threw that a little bit low.
Just enough to crest the hill.
Let's see if Chris can make the adjustment here. And unfortunately, it looks like a lot of long putts here. It's an easy decision to make.
I know when I got up there was about half a second of thought.
Yeah. And Chris went for it. Oh my gosh, don't do it.
Dead dolphin.
He ran it in the safest way possible, but he's still going to have a little bit of a comeback putt now.
But his expression said it all there. And what a great putt by MJ.
Going right through the branches.
Good comebacker out of Chris. That's tough, because if he misses that, the potential that he's going to roll back down and be even further is pretty high.
Yeah, so far in these two videos, we really haven't seen anybody on the back side of the screen, but it's much steeper back there.
Yeah. Yeah, very easy to roll outside of 50 feet if you get on the right angle. So
that was a great birdie for Miller. Watching that disc come out of his hand, I didn't think it was going to get all the way down, but he ended up in a fine spot.
Yeah, so one of the tougher holes, but we did get 2 birdies out of there and 2 pars, and we'll move on to the next here. We've got just a beautiful, slightly downhill, up and then downhill hole. It doesn't have a lot of distance, but it has a ton of teeth.
Yeah, this is a shot that I think most of us consider it a bonus birdie, even though it's just over 300 feet.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. If we had the percentages and scoring averages here, I have a feeling like this would be one of the hardest holes on the course.
Yeah, not many birdies, and easy to get over par because the shape of the hole is difficult and the green is difficult.
Good result there for MJ.
Yeah, he actually goes Comet on this, which is a lot of disc to have to throw.
Yes, it is. Steve throwing that a little bit low again. He's not getting air under it.
He was going for the flip up Roadrunner. I don't know if he's trying to go left side and get it all the way or straight through the field goal there.
A lot of action on that one.
Oh, I definitely overturned that and got a pretty darn good result out of it.
And Chris is going to show us a flick here too. Yeah, that looks like it's coming back.
Okay, that's why we couldn't find it on the left side.
That's where that second camera angle shows you something different than what you guys are thinking happened on the tee. That was incredible. And there you are, just laying up your shot.
Easy decision to lay up, not an easy layup, though.
Right, one of the hardest layups on the course because of how fast this green is. It really does slope downhill quite a bit. Even Steve is interested as to what that did.
Yeah.
And good putt there.
If you told me before the tournament I'd walk away with a 3 on this, I would love it.
Yeah, as you said, this is definitely a bonus birdie. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
And Chris is going to get his.
Yep, and that was a great result from being on that left side, for sure, coming through. So everybody else is going to clean up some pars here, and Chris is going to go away with the lone birdie here. That's at the point of your round where you're kind of happy to walk away from that hole.
Yeah, I'd say so, but none of this course lets up. There's never any time to rest, and that's one of the things I really like about it. It's short, it's only a par 56, and most of the holes are in the 300 range, but you have to stay focused the entire time.
Sure. Yeah, this is a slightly downhill, 297 feet. You've got to throw a controlled putter. As you can see, Chris is electing to go with the flick here. But again, it's just a super technical hole. You've got to throw the perfect shot in order to get it down there. Not the tree you wanted to hit.
No, so Chris is early in the fairway, and he is lucky to be in the fairway. That's a good result for that.
MJ taking the banger and just wants it to go ahead and slide. Oh, what a great looking shot.
Yeah, that's how you do it, folks.
Yeah.
Still got the same.
That was amazing. And this is a shot that I saw a lot out there, is the thumber shot down that right side, and you have a little bit of room to make this work.
Yeah, Steve didn't get the pan he wanted on that, but if you get this up high, there actually is some good room to work in the fairway. And Steve has a great thumber. I'm not surprised to see him take that.
There you go. Keep going.
And that's a fantastic shot out of yourself.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to do that. Just hit the gap I intended to and got away with it.
Chris elected to go with thumber on that second shot from where he is, and he's going to be lucky to walk away with a bogey here.
Yeah, he has some meat left on this bone for sure.
And just a great controlled shot, though. He's not going to be happy about walking away with a 4 here, though.
Not on a hole under 300 feet. Chris is a perfectionist.
Yep. And Steve giving it a good bid.
Yeah, I really like the float on that. He had great pace on the downhill long run.
MJ cleaning up the 2. And you're doing the same.
It's really filtered down to
Steve will get his 3, and then we're going to move on to hole 7.
Yeah, hole 7 is an interesting hole. It certainly plays as one of the more difficult holes on the course. You have to be pretty precise off the tee, but again, it's definitely a birdieable par 4. One of the only on the course, actually.
Yeah. We saw that little bonus footage of Barry Schultz throwing a turnover shot, and that's what the hole plays as. You want to throw a turnover shot, and if you land near these trees in the middle, you should have an opportunity to get up and down.
Yeah, if you can really get into your drive, I've seen players that have a putt, and when I say putt, you're talking 70, 80-foot jump putt to the basket. But you can really turn that corner nice if you really lay into something, but you have to commit.
Definitely. You can see MJ went force there, and he didn't get it over. That left side is very treacherous.
It's going inside. Let's see if it kicks back out. Yep. Yeah, you're not going to be in the woods, which is good.
Right. That was probably headed for the shul on the right side, so I'm glad to be in the fairway.
Steve just pulled that right.
He was going for a pretty aggressive inside Firebird play.
Yeah, Chris just ripped into that thing.
Yeah, talk about aggressive. This is, I think, a D1, and he is so far up the fairway.
Yeah, I mean, if you get that kind of distance, you hope that you can manufacture a shot to get up there and just get up and down for your birdie pretty easy. When you're as far away as Steve was, it is next to impossible to get up and down for birdie. So MJ threading the needle there, but hits the last one to hit. Good line. Great look at the basket there. You certainly were fortunate to have that hyzer play.
Yeah, the right side is where you want to be probably, but it's not without its hazards. There's low-hanging hollies and a pretty narrow window to have to hit.
Steve's going to have an interesting look from where he just ended up. MJ told it to go, and it went.
He kind of knows what he's doing most of the time.
Yeah, and you can see how close Chris was to the basket there. That's incredible that he even fought through that far.
Yeah, he had a really nice window to work with there.
Let's see what Mr. Miller can do here. Oh, man. Unfortunately, he's going to take his bogey.
Yeah, that would have been a great force save from where he was on any of those shots.
Mm-hmm. And MJ going to clean up his par.
Chris has a very deliberate putting motion. His routine is almost the same every time. He'll pump fake you, and I know he's made me move before.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot too. When, people have that very deliberate warm-up motion, you definitely feel like they're going to putt.
and that makes a big difference.
Yeah. So, cleaned up on the last of the first of the par fours out here. And unfortunately, Miller walked away with the only bogey out there. You and Chris ended up birdieing the hole.
Yeah, so now we're on to hole 8. This might be the prettiest hole on the property. You could argue for it. It's just the kind of hole you dream of having in your backyard where it sets up straight, you've got to throw a good shot, but it's birdieable.
Yeah, the crew did a good job with these nice big tee pads too. You don't feel like you're pinched in at all on the tee when you're up to throw. You've got plenty of room.
Yeah, and they're turf pads, so even when they're wet, they're nice and grippy. This is something where a private course can do it right.
Yeah, and as we say that, he slips on the tee pad.
I take it all back.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunate for Chris because he did not go very far before kicking into the woods there.
No, he'll have to work to get his par.
MJ ripping one up the middle again. If he goes over that branch again, oh, he hit it this time.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go over again, too.
He's playing with fire, and he knows it.
Yeah, he was. And Steve with a good rip. He's going to have the closest look for the birdie.
Yeah, he played a really nice hyzer flip. That's part of his game that I really admire. He throws hyzer flips with fairway drivers very comfortably.
Yeah, there's a lot of Steve's game that I admire, actually. He's just one of the smoothest players.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And this is also a course that he's so familiar with. He is hard to beat in Central Virginia.
Absolutely. Oh, what a great run at it.
Out of my hand, I thought I had it. It was a pretty complex line to go under and have it flex back a little bit.
Just disappointing. That was a good run. It was a good drive by Steve. Just not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, I think if he beats that last tree, he's inside the circle for sure. So on a woods course, sometimes you have to accept that and know that you threw a good shot and just move on to the next one.
So everybody is going to walk away not terribly disappointed with their threes, but you kind of do feel like you could have taken advantage of something by getting a birdie here. But again, no bogeys. So if you do hit early and you end up in the woods, it's very easy to take an overstroke on this hole.
Yeah, I've said it before. This course is about staying patient. So think of it as pars are good, birdies are just a bonus.
Yeah, as we step up to hole number 9, which is, again, one of the shortest par 3s. It is the shortest par 3 on the course. It is a technical shot. You got to throw a really good putter shot. But you've been playing tiki all weekend at this point now, so you should be used to this hole.
Yeah, if you don't have it dialed in by Sunday morning, you might want to re-examine your Blockhouse experience.
Absolutely. And that one got away from you just a little bit.
Yeah, the early right side or late left side seems to be the common misses here.
And Chris just does it exactly the way you're supposed to.
He's a robot.
Yeah. Just nice and low, let it slide up to the basket. Don't go deep. MJ should be just on track with that, too. And he's okay being a little bit right there, just as long as he didn't go deep.
Steve's going to go Nova. It looks real similar to MJ's shot, but it catches a little bit on the right side.
God, that looked good.
I think the putt would have been further than the drive, which is never something you want to do.
Yeah, the camera angle on that made it looked like it was going in. Oh, man.
I think we've seen that Steve is within a couple inches of having a perfect round going.
Yeah, and MJ is right there next to the basket. So he ended up just right, but he kicked real close there. So we're going to have MJ and Chris tapping in for their twos. And you and Miller are going to go ahead and get your pars.
Yeah, good enough. You can't think about this as a birdie hole. You kind of just have to think of it as whether you're playing well for the 9.
Exactly. So that's going to wrap up this 9 holes. Again, this is round 3 at the Blockhouse. Memorial Day. Everyone out here having a blast. We want to say thank you to Mike.
Yeah, thank you to all the folks at the Blockhouse and the Spotsylvania locals who make this possible. Fundraising, volunteering, hanging out and organizing this tournament. It's such a good community down there.
I can't say enough. If you haven't been through Memorial Day, come to the Blockhouse and enjoy the amenities and the people and the family atmosphere and everything that they have going on. We will be back with coverage of part 2 of round 3, and we'll see what these guys can do on the back 9.
Yeah, the back 9 has some more birdies, but certainly no easy ones.
So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Tea Time Disc Golf. We look forward to seeing you on the back 9.